Evidently, the show is Sports coming to you from 90 Sports 24, and of course, we're reaching you from the Moshood Abiola National Stadium here in Abuja. It's the midweek edition of the program, and we have loads of interesting things lined up for you. And of course, those were some interesting highlights we got from the Carabao Cup on Tuesday night. And of course, we still have more to come. And quite interesting to know that on Wednesday, 8 teams are in action. So quite interesting. All right, on the show today, we'll be taking a look at many things. Don't forget that the Paralympic Games, we're having the opening ceremony, and of course, the Nigerian under 20 athletes, they are currently, fighting, to win gold, to even finish in the podium, in the podium places for Nigeria in Lima. So we'll be talking about that and many more on the show today. And of course, it wasn't the best of outings for Team Nigeria at the Paris 2024 Olympics, but some archers are doing so well for the country at the moment. And of course, these are many more we'll be talking about on the show, but there's no need to even delay things. It's so much time spent on the show already. So join me in welcoming no other person. This man that I call Dami Stewart, and of course one of the best archers, coming from the country. He's going to be joining me from the United States of America via Zoom. I wouldn't know if he's back in Nigeria. Are you back in Nigeria?
No, I am not. I'm still in the US at the moment.
Right. Welcome to the show, and it's quite interesting to have you join us. Just before we talk about the good things that you've been doing for archery and all that, we were talking just before the show, and you talked about, the Olympics. What's your take about Team Nigeria's performance at the Olympics?
All right. First and foremost, thank you so much for having me on the show. As always, always happy to be here. As regards Nigeria's performance at the Olympics, it's a mixture of so many factors, not to bash anyone. But honestly, the truth is, when it comes to sports growth and development, we cannot wish to have medals at the podium if we don't put at least 8, 10 years into planning for that podium. So if you really want to win at the Olympics, you have to put in at least 8 years of work into winning at the Olympics. And it's clear that this is a clear indication that as a country, as a people, we haven't paid adequate attention to grassroots sports and promotion of sports in Nigeria. The government can't do everything. We all have to come together as individuals and private organizations to ensure that we put in the focus on grassroots sports development. Sports is not magic. Nobody gets to the podium by a wish. The work has to be done.
Interesting, quite interesting. Just like you said, the work has to be done, and of course, all hands now, I believe, are back on the deck, for loads of things to happen. But it's quite interesting to see what the Nigerian archery team did at the just concluded West and Central African Championships, and of course, your people were the Delhi, were part of that team, and they did the country proud. So tell us, about the competition and of course the achievements of Team Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much. So, the Grand Prix, the Tizakota event, which is the West and Central African Championship, ran from Monday last week up until Wednesday, or up until Thursday. The Abidjan Grand Prix, which is a slightly different archery event. So the difference is for the Tizakota, which is basically Central and West Africa, only has archers from those countries. However, the Grand Prix accommodates archers from all over the world. So it was like a back-to-back event for us. So there were like two events in one. There were 10 archers that represented Nigeria at this event. And it's interesting to know that these 10 archers came from two private archery clubs in Nigeria. The first being the club I belong to, Arch Archery Club in Abuja. And the other five came from Zen Archery Club in Lagos. So the 10 of us trained together and prepared for this event in Abidjan. We participated in quite a lot of events. I myself, I participated in about three different events at the competition, while we had others multitask because one, we didn't have sufficient archers in Nigeria, so we had to pressure ourselves, push ourselves to the limits so we could, redeem Nigeria, considering what just happened at the Olympics, right? So at the event, we competed in a compound bow division at different distances. We competed in the bare bow division, and we also competed at the Olympic recurve division. It's interesting to note that while we were there, a lot of celebrity archers from all over the world and Olympians came around to compete alongside with us. It was a long event. At the end of the week, Team Nigeria won 10 gold medals. We had 2 silver medals and 4 bronze medals. We wish we could have done more, but then again, like I said, those that won more medals had put in more work over the years, so to speak. So, but I would say it was a successful outing, and importantly, it was also a teaching moment for us because, like I've always told you a number of times that I've been on this show, my team members and I, we all learned how to shoot from YouTube. We don't have a proper World Archery certified coach in Nigeria. So most of us learn how to shoot on YouTube. We taught ourselves. So it's basically self-taught and also, unfortunately, self-funded. I have gone for about 3 international events for the country along with my team, and we have all funded ourselves. Never received a call from the federal government. It's always been personal and self-funded all as well. So, like I said, it was a certain for us because on the medal table, Nigeria came second after the host country, Cote d'Ivoire. So, I'll say this was a good one for Nigeria.
Beautiful. Just like you said, I was coming to the challenges and you talked about it and all that. All the people that participated, were they men or, it was a good mix of men and women. And I can see that, you won, a total of 16 medals made up of 10 gold medals. That's quite huge. 2 silver and 4 bronze medals, getting that at, that type of championship. And of course, your story is quite interesting. I could remember there was a time that we were there with you, at the Archery Club of Abuja to see how you do your thing. It's quite beautiful to watch you guys. So, how was it? Did you carry along the women?
Oh yes. Interesting. We had just one woman at the event, and she won 4 gold medals at the event. So I mean, it's sport in Nigeria still needs to have more women participate. Some of the challenges we have in archery is not a cheap sport, so to speak. Quality equipment costs money, just like golf. A typical setup of my compound bow will cost me around four to 5,000 USD. So yeah, it could be a bit of challenge to have people enter the sport. Yeah. So, but we are currently training more women for those who are interested. Um, Unfortunately, we have more men interested in archery than women. But the interesting thing is, women do better in archery because they are much calmer. And in archery, you need a lot of calmness and being very steady to draw, to aim, and focus. So I mean, we would love it if we had more women show interest in archery.
Quite beautiful. That's what we're talking about. I like it when we also put the woman into serious consideration. All right, with what you've done now, what's next? Do you have any other competition that you want to go for in any time soon?
Okay. As regards international competition representing Nigeria, I think the calendar for country events are over for this year. But personally, this year I've competed in about 11 archery competitions outside the country. And in all of the 11, I have medaled in all of them. So we have what we call the indoor season and the outdoor season. So for the indoor season, I've done 3 events early this year. So for the outdoor season, I've done 9. I've medaled in all 9. We're about to move into the indoor season. So I intend to compete in those ones. Although not officially as Nigeria, but I will be flying the Nigerian flag as always at these international events. I always fly the Nigerian flag.
All right, just like you said, that's beautiful. We know that you are, a true Nigerian, and of course, you always do that. All right, just before we round up our discussion, on the show today, I would like to know because whether you like it or not, the best option, when it comes to all these things, is catching them young. So, what are you guys doing, especially at your club, to ensure that you can put in, the younger ones, maybe from secondary schools, in, we can even start in Abuja.
Oh yes. At my club, the Archery Club in Abuja, every year, this is the third year running, we have what we call the Juniors Boot Camp, which we do every summer during the summer holidays. We had one again this year in August. And at the end of the training, it's a boot camp session. At the end of that training, what we do is we do a mini competition to fish out the very best out of all the children that have come for that event. And interestingly, we train from the age of 4, 5, as long as the child can stand, listen to instructions, and has a bit of arm strength. So from like 5 years and above, we have a juniors program from age 5 to age 18, because to 17, sorry, because once they're 18, they become adults. We had that early. We had the third one this year, and we have that every year. We also go to schools or NGOs that are interested in having a sports and archery sports program. So there are a couple of, without mentioning schools in Abuja, that we already cater to at the moment, and they love it because we've explained the whole plan to them. Countries like the USA and like Korea, that's always winning every year, they have what they call the Junior Olympic Archery Program. So they start them from the age of 8 and work them all through age 18 and 21 when they will be ready for the Olympics. So we have started replicating that in Nigeria. We just need to work with more schools because a lot of schools are not aware of what archery really is. Then at my club, by November this year, we'll be having our own annual Open Championship. We also have children's category at that annual Opens Championship. So it's a way to ensure that we have the adults involved in archery and we have children involved in archery. So for the children, every August, there's an opening for them to train and compete. Then in November, there's also an opportunity for them to train and compete alongside the adults in their own unique categories. So we are trying our best to ensure archery grows in Nigeria, to ensure there's promotion of archery. And with our sister clubs around the country that we are friends and affiliated with, we do all we can to ensure we have a robust program for children too.
All right, quite beautiful. Well done. And of course, it will be interesting for us to just end the way we started. That's about the Olympics. Whether you like it or not, early 2028 is almost here. People might think that maybe it's 4 years away, but before you know it, we're already in 2028. Do you think that Nigeria stands a chance of having at least one archer at that particular Olympics?
Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's part of our plans. We are working towards it. But like every other plan, it's good. It's awesome to dream, but the work has to be done, and the work cannot be done in isolation. Meaning that we archers, we are ready to train to give our best. However, we still need a certain degree of government and private sector support. We understand the way things are in the country. The government may not be involved in everything, but if there is private sector support, being that the truth is, some of the best trainings in archery, you can't get them in Nigeria. You have to fly outside the country to get them. You have to be somewhere where you train. I don't know if you saw the Korean team where they had an equipment that would monitor their heart rates to ensure it was below a certain number and all of that. So we are ready. We have our archer beginning to prepare. Because actually, if you have to qualify for the Olympics, you have to qualify a year before. So by 2027, that is the qualification. So we have just 3 years to prepare to qualify. So yes, it is possible. It is a reality, as long as we have factors in place to make it work. So yes, we are working towards it.
All right, that's the best way possible, and of course, we're looking forward to seeing at least a Nigerian, represent the country in archery when it comes to LA 2028. It's going to be an entertaining Olympics with the razzle dazzle of Hollywood and of course LA. It's going to be music, entertainment, everything, when it comes to LA. Come on, let Nigerian archers be there. And of course, it's on that note that I want to thank you Obviously, you should be sleeping now, but you had to wake up to join us on the show today. Many thanks for being part of it. It's always beautiful to have you.
Thank you. Always beautiful to be here too. Thank you so much.
All right, that was Dami Stillite, one of the best archers, we have around here. And of course, he just, with about 15 others represented Nigeria at the just concluded West and Central African, championships for archery. And of course, they did the country proud by winning 16 medals made up of 10 gold, 2 silver, and 4 bronze medals. Interesting. All right, you're still watching AM Sports coming to you from NT Sports 24. You know the way we always do it because we had to just quickly entertain Dami, and that was why we couldn't, take a look at our papers. But now we're ready, so maybe we can quickly go on a break. But if the papers are ready, we'll just go straight to the newspaper review segment. All right, interesting. Today we've just got one newspaper to review, and that's the Punch Sports Extra. Every day is always about players, 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 but today is about coach. And you get the answer is just there. The question is just big there. Bruno who? Is it Bruno Fernandes that says he likes to be called, the way it's being called in Portuguese? That's Bruno Fernandes. Is it Bruno Fernandes? Or is it Bruno this or Bruno that or Bruno Gumares or Bruno Words? That's the big question of the newspaper. Nigerians query Labadea choice for Eagles job. I can remember, like 13 years ago, I interviewed someone at an assignment venue and he told me his name was Labadea. So now, and he told me he was a German, and now we're seeing a player, a coach come from that place. If you don't know him, this man has done so well when it comes to fighting relegation and, of course, qualifying teams for Europa. That's why they've called him, Europa and relegation specialist. UEFA to honor CR7 with special award. Shinezi quits football after leaving UVE. Nigeria gets tough tennis draws as Paralympics begin. Ekong Aino Awoniyi return for Benin Rwanda ties. Chelsea PSG still interested in Osimhen. Rashford unhappy at Manchester United. Why hasn't he left? Arsenal complete Merono deal. That was announced late on Tuesday. Chelsea launch late Tony bid. If they sign Tony, forget Osimhen. Van Dijk open to Liverpool exit. Ochonogo eyes under 20 championships medal. Tributes for Nigeria's first Olympic medalist, Mayegun, who died, I think he died on Monday. Danjuma sure Falconers will shine in Colombia. Remember, they lost narrowly to Mexico in their friendly match on Monday. Lots of other interesting stories are in that particular newspaper, and of course those are the top headlines there for you. You can grab these or any other sports daily. It's just 100 naira to read more, but in case you need, and of course you need all the latest gist when it comes to the world of sports, you can always get that on NT Sports 24. All right, we still got more highlights coming and many interesting things on the show, but now let's go on this quick break. And from there, we'll be displaying the phone lines for you to call. There are no gifts to be won today on the show. And of course, we have 2 winners already. Tony is not around. We'll have confirmed the official payment. So hopefully, Tony will be around on Friday. But before Friday, all that will be sorted. We'll contact everyone we need to contact. But today is just going to be largely on the new coach of the Super Eagles. So let's go on this break. When we return, we'll be talking about him.